Good morning. I'm Rachel Shackleton, Director and owner of Green Key Personal Development and Green Key Health. Today I'm going to be talking to you about leadership and digestion. So there are many sayings in the English language that reflect gut health or digestive health. And the first one is this saying of, I can't stomach it. This refers to many different things. It can talk about, I can't stomach a particular food. It can refer to a person. I can't stomach that person, whoever that person is. Meaning I don't have time for that person, or there's something that person winds up in me or doesn't make me feel comfortable, or whatever it might be. So after quite a lot of extensive research into this saying, I actually was very unsuccessful in finding where does this saying actually originate from. I can't stomach something. But the point is that this relationship between the saying and where it's related to in the body is referring to this aspect of our gut, where we have a gut feel. And the stomach is the seat, or the gut is the seat of many emotions. And actually it is the opening of our main communication system. So this is the first place that we have the instinct, is through the gut, and therefore through the stomach on a wider perspective. So what we understand from this is that the digestive system is actually highly intelligent. The whole body is highly intelligent, and we know from more and more research now that the gut links to the brain on the gut-brain axis, and therefore if our gut feel is not correct, whether it's from something that we've eaten or somebody has affected our gut feel, this is certainly going to affect our emotional balance and our mental health. So this leads on very nicely to another saying around the gut, which is, well, why do I bring this up? Bringing something up, we get this picture of vomiting food that has not agreed with us for whatever reason that might be. But we also use this terminology when talking about problems or issues that we are preempting because we don't really want to do it, and therefore we're preempting the reaction of the other person. So the phrase might be something like, excuse me for bringing this up, allowing the other person to get emotionally prepared. However, we can't always gauge the emotional reaction to what comes after that. So this compensation or balance that we're trying to achieve with this phrase of I'd like to bring the following up means that we are almost reflecting backwards into ourselves, that we lack the courage or the resilience to actually say what has to be said, and say it openly, clearly and directly, but with respect for the other person and how that person may react emotionally. Therefore, as managers and leaders, we need to have the courage to address those issues that we find difficult, whether that's conflict in the team, whether that's conflict between other teams, your team and another team. It doesn't matter, but we need to have the courage to address those, irrelevant of the gut feeling, which is telling us that we're a little bit fearful of the outcome, or the gut feeling that's telling us, yes, indeed, we have to address this. The key points about addressing issues with others are to be open, to be clear, and to communicate from a fair and secure base. It's about being respectful of other people, but at the same time with the goal to changing what needs to be changed. The gut is the part of the anatomy which energetically and emotionally symbolizes how we digest things. And therefore, digesting new experiences, new happenings are important to our own growth and development and the growth and development of others. So as I mentioned earlier, having the courage to broach these situations, to bring them out from under the carpet and to address them openly, clearly, and with respect. Always keeping in mind what are the goals of the organization, what are the goals of the department, and what are the goals of the individuals, and keeping those in mind, as well as the vision of where it is that we need to go by addressing this situation, by bringing this situation up. Knowing the truth, of course, can sometimes hurt. We never want to hear negative feedback about ourselves, whether that is constructive negative feedback or plain negative feedback. It's not something we want to hear. It's also something that other people don't want to hear. But at the end of the day, if that feedback is required, if we need to bring points up to help a person to change their performance, change their behavior, change how they think about certain issues, we need to do that to help them to grow and develop. Not to mention the fact that when we deal with something that we find difficult by bringing it up, we're also growing and developing in our leadership approach and in ourselves. Interestingly, another part of the digestive system is, of course, the fact that the food that we put into our mouths goes via the throat to get into the stomach. The throat is the energetic center which represents communication. And this, therefore, also has a direct link to these other phrases such as I can't stomach it and let's bring points up. And by using our voice to bring up these points that we find difficult is not only helping us to grow and develop, but it's also helping in the way that we communicate, and it makes it easier for us to do that, and in turn easier for the person on the other side. So in conclusion, our digestive system from the mouth all the way down to the anus has actually a lot to do with leadership. And that means that sometimes in leadership, we have situations that we find difficult. We get feedback ourselves, which is difficult. It's a hard pill to swallow. But by actually doing that and by helping others do that effectively through clear, direct communication that is fair, well balanced and secure, we're not only developing ourselves, we're developing others, and we're also supporting our energy system. And that means the digestive tract from the very top to the bottom, and consequently our digestive health. Bon appetit, everyone.